interestingly enough, this is worth mentioning, it's often said that the apartheid system was a genocide. There's a lot to criticize, and we should talk about that, about just how bad it was and what went wrong. Genocide is not the right term, because the black population in South Africa doubled I think it was in the first 2 decades of the apartheid system, and then it doubled again after that. So there was a massive population growth among black South Africans, especially in the last century.
Right. And so now you said 60 million people in South Africa as a whole, and 5 million are of European descent, and 2.7 million of them are Afrikaner.
Yep.
And the rest, and what about like Indians and Asians and so forth?
Because the narrative in South Africa is whites must go back to Europe because this is black people's continent.
Well, it also begs the question of which black people.
Exactly,
like, is it the San, the Bushmen, or the Bantu, let's say? It's not like that's the only kind of black people that are in Africa. Right?
And so the political slogan is that when the Dutch came, they didn't bring any land on their ships. So that's sort of the joke that, oh, you came and you colonized. The narrative is that they wouldn't say that South Africa was densely populated, because they know it wasn't, but they would say that all of it belonged to the black groups who were living in South Africa. And so the arrival of the Europeans was essentially colonialism.
Well, that's a particularly tricky argument when you're talking about people like the Bushmen. Because my suspicions are, from what I understand about them anthropologically, first of all, they conceptualize themselves as belonging to the land rather than the reverse, which is a much more typical attitude of hunter-gatherers, because they're nomadic. They don't own land. There's no ownership notion. So what did the Bushmen own? They definitely owned their bows and arrows and the things they could carry with them, which were very lightweight, and I don't believe they had domesticated animals. Like, how do you own land when you don't have a permanent settlement? That's not your relationship to the land.